More than 95% of the world's internet traffic passes through giant cables, but almost no one knows where they are. The internet seems invisible, wireless, and limitless. At this exact moment, you are connected to the internet through a cable thinner than a garden hose, buried thousands of meters deep in the ocean. If it were to break right now, millions of people would instantly lose internet access. Banks would shut down, airplanes would lose communication, stock markets would collapse, and the most frightening part is, 99% of the world's internet does not come from satellites. But what no one tells you is the brutal and extremely complex process behind the manufacturing of these giant cables that connect the entire world. Get ready, because what you are about to discover in the next few minutes will completely change the way you see the internet. How is something so critical manufactured? Who builds this? And why does almost no one show this process? Today, you are going to step inside the factory that literally sustains the world's internet. But deep in the oceans, there is a gigantic infrastructure that keeps the world connected. Today, you will learn how this is built. Here at Factory Manufacturing, we unveil the secrets behind the fabrication of products you use every day. From microscopic components to gigantic machines, we show how engineering and technology unite to create the incredible things that move our world. If you're passionate about industrial processes, manufacturing, and technological innovation, you're in the right place. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any video from our journey through the fascinating world of industrial manufacturing. All right, let's begin. Most people believe that the internet works through satellites, but that is a myth. More than 99% of global communication travels through submarine cables. There are over 1.4 million kilometers of cables connecting all continents. That's right, million. And here comes the brutal part. A single one of these cables can cost up to $350 million to manufacture and install. But how the hell do they do this? How do they build something that needs to withstand the gigantic pressure of the ocean, shark attacks, and still transmit data at the speed of light? The answer will shock you. Now the real work starts. There are fewer than 10 factories worldwide capable of manufacturing these cables. The technology is so advanced that it feels like science fiction. Everything begins with optical fibers thinner than a human hair. Each fiber is made of ultra-pure glass, so transparent that you could see through a window 100 meters thick. These fibers are grouped into bundles, and here is the brutal secret. Each fiber can transmit up to 20 terabits of data per second. This means a single cable can transmit thousands of HD movies simultaneously. Some of these cables have more than 10,000 kilometers in length, cost billions of dollars, need to operate 24 hours a day for decades, and it all starts inside an extremely controlled factory. But optical fiber alone cannot survive in the ocean. That's where brutal engineering comes in. The cable receives 8 layers of protection. First layer, petroleum gel surrounds the fibers to protect against water. Second layer, stainless steel tube, the main armor. Third layer, waterproof aluminum that blocks 100% of water. Fourth layer, ultra-resistant polycarbonate. Fifth layer, more galvanized steel, protection against chip anchors. Sixth layer, high-density nylon. Seventh layer, copper wires to transmit electrical power. Eighth layer, final polyethylene protection. The result? A cable that weighs up to 70 kilograms per meter and can withstand up to 7 tons of pressure. It's absolutely giant. At the center of the cable is the optical fiber, made of ultra-pure glass. But not just any glass. It is heated to over 2,000 degrees Celsius and stretched until it becomes thinner than a human hair, requiring perfect uniformity with no imperfections. A microscopic error can reduce speed, cause failures, and compromise thousands of kilometers of connection. At this point, it becomes clear. There is no improvisation in this process. Manufacturing takes place in gigantic machines that operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The cable is produced continuously, like an endless strand of pasta coming out of a machine. The speed? Only 50 meters per hour. That's right, it's a slow and meticulous process. For a cable that crosses the Atlantic Ocean, it takes 3 to 4 months of continuous manufacturing. Every millimeter is inspected by laser sensors. If there is a single microscopic defect, that entire section is discarded. And there's more. The cables are manufactured in sections and stored in huge circular tanks up to 70 meters in diameter, where they remain submerged in cold water until installation. It's impressive. Submarine cables are not placed on the ocean floor without first undergoing a series of extremely rigorous tests. Because they must operate for decades under severe conditions, enormous pressure, corrosion, movement, and tension, manufacturers perform quality tests and ensure reliability even before the cables leave the factory. First of all, the cable is placed in tension and compression testing machines that simulate the forces it may experience during deployment and on the seabed. These tests verify how much a cable can be stretched without breaking and how much load it can handle before deforming or suffering structural damage. Another essential test is torsion testing, used to verify whether the internal layers remain intact, whether the optical fiber continues transmitting signals after twisting, and whether there is any performance loss under lateral mechanical stress. The cables also undergo tests that simulate the environmental conditions they will be exposed to, checking temperature variations, resistance to thermal cycles, and long-term stability of the insulation material. In addition to mechanical tests, the cables must be tested from a data transmission perspective. This involves measuring signal attenuation, testing connection quality between endpoints, and verifying signal uniformity. Let me throw some extreme numbers at you that will blow your mind. The cost of these cables ranges from $200 to $500 million per complete cable, where data travels at 200,000 kilometers per second, almost the speed of light. The capacity of a modern cable like this reaches 250 terabits per second, with an estimated lifespan of 25 years on the ocean floor, and depths that can reach up to 8 kilometers. As for weight, it can easily reach 10,000 tons, and when repairs are needed, each repair can cost up to $1 million when something goes wrong. These are extremely massive numbers that show global engineering operating at its absolute limit. And now, a detail you may not have known. Why are submarine cables strategic targets? These cables are not just wires on the ocean floor. They are the invisible arteries of the modern world. That's why governments monitor these routes constantly, 24 hours a day. Some paths are kept under absolute secrecy, far from public maps and curious eyes. There are military-level security protocols because a single attack, a single cut, can cause global consequences. Cutting a submarine cable does not just mean losing internet access. It means isolating entire countries, paralyzing economies, and interrupting governmental, financial, and strategic communications. In just minutes, markets can fall, essential services can fail, and international crises can begin. That is why these cables are treated as critical global infrastructure. Silent, invisible, but absolutely vital to the functioning of the planet. Now you understand why your internet works so well. Billions of dollars invested, cutting-edge global technology, and thousands of engineers working to keep you connected. Every time you watch a video, make a video call, or send a message to the other side of the world, remember, there is a giant cable at the bottom of the ocean working for you. The manufacturing of these cables is one of the greatest achievements of modern engineering. It is proof that when humanity works together, it can accomplish truly colossal and impressive feats. And there's more. At this very moment, more than 50 new cables are being manufactured to further increase global internet capacity. The future is being built right now, meter by meter, deep inside specialized factories. If you made it this far, you are part of the 5% who are truly interested in this subject. Leave a comment below. Which part impressed you the most? So, what did you think? Write below if you had any idea how fascinating this process really is. Subscribe to the channel to discover surprising things, activate the notification bell, and share this with that friend who needs to know this. Thanks, and see you in the next video.